the big state of Texas. Now, Field, you did multiple sports in high school before you got to the college level, correct?
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about your introduction into athletics.
Yes. My parents, my whole family is all big sports people. So I kind of just got put in it real early in my life and I just fell in love with it. Um, I did all the sports throughout middle school, just for fun. And I began like really falling in love with basketball. So I did basketball. I did select basketball. That's what I wanted to do in college was basketball until I got to high school. And then I decided kind of wanted to switch gears after being recruited a little bit in basketball. I just started to fall in love with track whenever I started taking it seriously. So I like the community in track a little bit more. And I guess that's just kind of where my mindset changed. It changed about my junior year of high school, which is very late for track. A lot of my teammates start like very young, elementary school. I didn't do select track until my senior year of high school. So I did, and in high school, I did the 4x1, the 100, the 4x2, long jump, and shot put. And I did shot put like they needed someone to go throw the shot put. And it's like, you're strong, you can go do that. And then I kind of realized I was doing okay in it. And I was like, maybe if I take this a little seriously, I could go do it in college. So then I started my senior year. I started to do select track and I did shot put then. And then that's whenever I realized it's what I wanted to do.
That's a pretty interesting journey. Now, kind of describe like how you felt when you first got to a college campus and just the whole atmosphere behind college period.
Well, it's just completely different. I remember emailing coaches, and when Texas Tech emailed me back, I was like, what? Like a Big 12 D1 school? They were just national champions. That's crazy. Whenever I came on my visit, I stepped on, and it was just like a complete shock to me. I was going on a visit, and I saw the guy who had just won nationals, Duke, in discus, and he was there during my visit, and I was just like hearing about how they train and everything, and it was just a complete shock because I'm not used to that. I did track for fun. I did shot put because they needed a girl that could bench the bar. I just wasn't used to it, and it's huge, completely different. I'm from a small town, so then I go to Lubbock, and I'm just like, what is going on here? They're like, this is completely different than anything I'm used to. But I fell in love with tech as soon as I came and met the coaches, and so even having offers at other schools, I'm a walk on at Tech, so I had offers at other schools, but I just fell in love with tech so much that I decided I'll be a walk on and try to earn a scholarship.
Awesome, awesome. As far as like, coming up in a small town, obviously see that you're pretty competitive. Where did you kind of pick that up at?
I would say I got the competitiveness. I have two brothers, and so that's where I got that from. They were constantly just pushing me. My parents too. They were always They were involved in sports. My aunts and uncles all played college sports, and so it just like happened. Like we were just very sports oriented. My cousin plays football at Princeton. My other cousin plays a D1 volleyball. So I guess I just like at a young age we were all so competitive with each other, and we're all so close in age that it was like, oh, I want to be better than this one. Like just kind of healthy competition, but also I wanted to always beat my brothers. So that's definitely where it came from.
Awesome, awesome. Now they still have like some of your high school stats like online, and I was looking like, oh wow, this is like dropping stats. So I had a little question for one of your fellow Texas Tech student athletes about genetics versus work ethic. And it seems like you fall along the lines of those that won the genetic lottery. But tell us a little bit about like your diet at the college level and like your workout regimen.
Okay. It's completely different from high school. From going from doing sprints in high school, um, mainly focusing on like 100-meter dash and long jump, to coming and being just a thrower has like my body has completely transitioned in a way that for girls sometimes it could be hard. But my parents always cooked healthy for us in high school, always. Like we always had home cooked meals, everything. Then I got to college and I cannot cook. So it was a shock to me, and we have dietitians that will help us with all of our meals. And so my freshman year, about halfway through, I noticed I was gaining weight because I transferred from being a sprinter to a thrower, and that's way different. I put on a lot of muscle. So I was just kind of struggling with what is like gaining healthy weight versus what is gaining weight from just eating out all the time. So I met with my dietitian, and she made like a chart for me and pretty much just said like your carbs, your proteins, your vegetables, everything, how many she wants me to eat, what she wants me to eat every day. And it looks like usually in the mornings I'll have a protein shake for breakfast. And then we go to we have something called the cache, which it has all our like our lunch for us. And we go and all the student athletes go and eat there. So I'll have like grilled chicken or salmon with a salad and then some fruit. And that's like right before practice. So I always want something that's gonna digest well. So then I'll go to practice, and I like to, not many throwers like to run, but I like to do it just because that's what I'm used to. And I feel like my body works best whenever I'm have like on the leaner side. Um, so I'll go like run warm up, and then I'll go throw for about an hour and a half. And then we go in the weight room, and the weight room is like that's where it's time to be like, okay, we got to go, we got to work. And I'm very like, I'm strong, but compared to my teammates in college, I struggle like upper body wise. So that's been very difficult for me because they have like this. I mean, I have girls on my team that are benching 230 pounds and I can't even get 200. But then in my legs, I can squat over 500 pounds. So
Wow.
being able to like take what I have genetically, which is like strong legs and hips, but also having to work on my upper body has been very interesting. But it's been really cool, and it's like I've kind of developed a love for it because I like to see like, okay, like my freshman year I was eating like crap, and then I gained all this weight. I gained probably 30 pounds my freshman year, and then I had to deal with how I'm gonna use that in the ring versus being hook and explosive. Now I have all this weight, so then I lost that weight, and then now I'm like back where I was. But it's been, wow, it's been like a journey already, and it's only my junior year. So
Awesome. So I noticed like with a lot of our student athletes, they did have to make that adjustment once they made the transition from high school to college. So that's definitely understandable. Now, tell us a bit about your college major. Is it speech pathology? What is it?
I started in speech pathology. I wanted to work with special education, and then
Okay.
I switched from speech pathology to sports management. And speech pathology is pretty much just like um, audiology. You have to learn sign language, all that kind of stuff, just to be a speech therapist. But I also didn't know how much I really loved sports until I got to college because I always just did it for fun. And I think that's like a big reason why I'm not burnt out is because I went from playing basketball and I was on varsity all 4 years of basketball. Now I did a little bit of track, and then now it's all track. And so I still love it because it's like this is the first time I'm actually focused on it. And so that's why I switched to sports management, just because like I don't know what I would do without sports. And so I just kind of want to have an idea. I have an idea of being like a director of operations for a team. I just can't imagine my life without sports. So that's why I switched it.
Yeah. And I'm glad you share that with our young people because you know, it's good to get into college, but it's even better to go through college with a plan. So that, that makes a lot of sense. Now, are you studying any film of anyone, or are you kind of just picking up where your coaches like direct you as far as like skills development and so forth?
Yeah, I definitely watch a lot of people. I Michelle Carter, obviously, but Valerie Allman is a discus thrower, but she really intrigues me in the way of like is not built like a regular thrower. She's very lean, she's solid muscle, she's very healthy, and that's more of like she's explosive through the ring, which is really, I think that's more like the route that I'll go and how I'll have to be successful because having a being built like a sprinter and coming into college to be a thrower, everyone's body type is different, and so I have to use my advantage of being quick
Mhm.
and staying light. And I just like to watch her, not necessarily how she throws, but just how she lifts, what she
Mhm.
eats, all of those kinds of things. And then I like to watch Michelle Carter just because she's amazing. And um, we do the same technique. And so it's nice to break down her throws. And my coach always says like success leaves clues. And so that's something
Ooh, I
ever
like that.
since he said that, it's just stuck with me. And so just watching anyone that's, I mean, even at the collegiate level, anyone who's better than me, watching them and just taking different clues and just different advice from them, that's helped me a lot.
Excellent, excellent. And one thing I enjoy from having competed myself and from watching, past and current competitors is a person can start out of the top three, out of the top five, then years later, boom, they make that jump, and then they're in the Olympics. So it's always exciting to hear from you, student athletes. Now, share a little bit about some of like the challenges of a student athlete beyond just the playing field.
Yes, for sure. I take 15 hours in school, and it's not easy to juggle it all and also have a social life with friends outside of track. And so we're really, really blessed that we have tutors, and we have a place called the Marsha Sharp Center, and we go there for tutoring or study hall hours. And that's kind of where I have spent most of my time when I'm not at practices there, because the workload that we have in school, plus like just like the mental and emotional pressure that we have for athletics, like having to make time for all of that is very difficult. And then also maintaining a good GPA, like where I know I'm supposed to be at. So I just like really have to sit down and like give myself about 3 hours a day. Like, you're gonna do school. It's hard because I have 100 other things in my mind, but um, that's helped a lot. And I also see a sports psychologist, and she just does a really good job of just being like, okay, Field, this is track and this is what you're doing right now, but you got to think about the big picture. And if you're not focused in school, you're what's gonna happen whenever you don't have track, you know? Um, and so I really try to do that. And then whenever I come home, I don't live with any track athletes or any athletes at all, just because I want to be able to have a social life outside of track. Because I'm with my teammates every day, almost every second of every day. And then I want to like come home and have time for my friends, you know? So it's definitely a balance. You have to find that. My freshman year, I did a horrible job of it. And I lost a lot of friends because I wasn't able to sit down and like have good a solid time with them. I was just always had track on my mind. And so you gotta like really step back and look at the bigger picture and understand like track is something that, in my opinion, that the Lord has glorified me with, is the ability to do track. But I also need to like use my other talents to glorify him too.
Amen to that. I believe you're at least the third student athlete that shared a little bit about seeing a sports psychologist, and it's very, as a counseling student myself, it's very it's very pleasing to my ears that I see the next generation of athletes, student athletes, taking mental health seriously. So now, who kind of like kind of opened that lane for you? Did you just stumble across it on campus, or?
No, I had horrible performance anxiety my first freshman year. And my trainer and I are really close, and I went in there and I was just like, Frank, I just feel like I'm going crazy. Like, my mind is spinning 100 miles per hour. I can't focus. I really was getting, it was getting really, really difficult, like almost like a little bit depressed, because I'm a walk on, and I went from being the best in high school or being the best all my life in my sport until I got to college, and then I realized I'm kind of at the bottom. And so I have to make up all this time that people have been doing since they were little, doing track. Now I'm like learning it all. I'm learning it all right now. And so I didn't know, my thoughts were just going out of control. And he was like, I've noticed that. Let me put you with the sports psych. So he was like, he put me with the sports psych, and I was with him for about 4 months. And then I learned I was going to redshirt. So I stopped seeing him for a little bit. And then just recently, actually, I got set back up with a new sports psych, and I have just like, I've absolutely loved it. It's been awesome. And sometimes people think like, going to see a sports psych, because you're sad or you have anxiety or whatever it may be. It could even be something positive. It's just like embarrassing, but I absolutely love it, and I recommend it to everyone that has the opportunity to do it. And through Texas Tech Athletics, we get it for free. You don't have to pay for it. So utilizing that has helped my performance tremendously.
That is beautiful. As mental health awareness, becomes more celebrated, I think we'll get a playing field where we'll actually get more productivity from our student athletes on and off the field or on and off the track and so forth. So definitely want to give you a shout out for that. What advice, Phil, would you have for 11th and 12th grade student athletes that are just hoping to get a college scholarship and compete on the next level?
Man, I would just say don't be afraid to reach out to coaches. That was my biggest thing. Being afraid, but also, there's nothing wrong with starting at a lower level school, a D2 or D3. There's nothing wrong with that. You can always work up, or doing JUCO. Like, that was something that I know personally. I was I just didn't want to do it, and I'm very blessed that I didn't do that. But I think that for people that don't have the same opportunity, that there's nothing wrong with that. And also just to remember, like, your sport is just such a little part of your life, even though it seems so big. But like, your real purpose for life, in my opinion, is just to glorify the Lord. And like, if you have these talents, that's great, and glorify Him with those. But just have fun with it, because if you're not having fun with it, there's no point in doing it. And also just not to be too hard on yourself, because that's something I've caught myself doing. And it just, whenever you're not having fun, I think if I'm not having fun with it, I'm going to be done with it. So I would say that's my advice.
Awesome. Appreciate those words of wisdom, and it was to the point. Of course, we can't let our guest leave until we put him on the spot. So here it goes. If you were coming up with your life story movie thus far, what would be the title of that movie? Which actress would play you, and why?
Oh, wow. That's a hard one. Okay. The Life of Field would definitely be the title. Simple. Actress to play me. Man, dang, you got me there. Let's see. I'm trying to think.
Put you on the spot.
I know you did. Oh gosh. I don't know if you know who Sadie Robertson is, but she did Duck Dynasty. Does that sound familiar? It might be more.
That sounds familiar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does podcasts now, and she was in Duck Dynasty. But I just I love the way she lives her life. I love the way she glorifies the Lord, and I would be honored for her to play my part in my movie.
Awesome. I'm definitely gonna tag this part to Sadie Roberts. Definitely, definitely appreciate that. Now, 3 words to describe you for this season.
Um,
I want to see where your mindset is at.
Patience.
Mm-hmm.
Consistent, and more dedicated than I have ever been.
Okay. Well, it's grind season.
Sure.
Continue blessings and success. It's almost as if you were born for track and field with a name like Field in Gatlin. Field, I want to thank you for blessing us with your presence on this youth mentorship podcast. I'm looking forward to uploading this episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.
So, bye-bye.
Bye.